The objective here is to inject as much orange Kool-Aid and positivity as physically possible. But we also have to be real. Otherwise, I'm giving you the same fluff and stuff as everybody else. And realistically, the Bedlam basketball game is nothing more than a microcosm of what it is to witness Mike Boynton brand of basketball.
You are Locked On Oklahoma State, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, y'all, and hello, all. Welcome back to Locked On Oklahoma State, your daily stop for all things Cowboy and Cowgirl related. My name is Cody Stovall. I want to thank you kindly for stopping by to make this your first listen. We're available on all of your podcasting platforms, visually as well on YouTube. Find me personally on X at AllDayOState. Today, we're partially brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment matter more with FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 back in bonus bets with any $5 or more winning bet. So, get yourself started today by going to FanDuel.com/lockedon while we get started with some Bedlam basketball. Now, this weekend was obviously a big one for Oklahoma State and a large contingency of sports, which we'll cover a little bit later on. But this right here, right now, is about the Bedlam basketball game. And again, it's not so much about the game in and of itself as it is the microcosm of what this Mike Boynton experience has been. Now, there that shoot me some messages here and there. So you guys, if somebody could find out how many games we've lost while leading before the last minute, I think it would open a lot of people's eyes. But again, this is not me running on the rails saying that Mike Boynton needs to skedaddle on out of town. Well, you know my opinion. I do think that that is the case because 7 years is a little much. 7 years of ridiculousness is what we witnessed in Bedlam. We have lost so many games in the last minute by taking horrendous shots, by playing a bunch of isolation ball, or missing free throws. Those all seem to be pretty standard in Mike Boynton's tenure at Oklahoma State University. What does adding another year do? Now, I understand that we're in a precarious position when it comes to the financial side of the realms. Therefore, the chances of us getting rid of Mike Boynton are pretty daggone slim, a.k.a. likely not going to happen. But at the same time, you look at what he's accomplished at Oklahoma State, or should I say maybe lack thereof, again, when you look at Bedlam, this is kind of run-of-the-mill. In games that we need to have happen, they don't happen. In games that we do, in fact, get 13,000 plus in Gallagher-Iba, his record's got to be like 2-13. It's just not a great look. And I understand that the conundrum that we're in is either we get rid of Mike Boynton, right? And then all that payout is null and void for NIL, or we deal with Mike Boynton and try to allocate as much money as physically possible to NIL. But here's my issue with that. What are you investing in? What are we investing in, right? So if you give more money to Oklahoma State basketball, whether it's for the players or whatever, it's indirectly affected by Mike Boynton. So although we're in an odd spot to where you can't really get rid of him, because if you do, you have no NIL capabilities. But you're saying if we do keep him for another year, we're magically going to get the NIL we need, right? Isn't that kind of a catch-22? It's a darned if you do, darned if you don't. Because if you do fork up some money, then you already know the product you're going to get, unfortunately. And if you don't pony up some money, then we're stuck like Chuck anyways. It feels like an inopportune time for us to have this Bedlam debacle. And that's what it was. On both sides, women's and men's. The women's game was worse. We just got our head drugged through the ground over and over again. That was frustrating. But there's a difference in getting your ace kicked as opposed to shooting yourself in the ace. That's what we did in basketball. Missed free throws have been a common denominator for Mike Boynton his entire time. So from a statistical perspective in this game, we should have won, could have won, had opportunities to win. We shot 57% from the floor, which isn't all that bad. We shot 29% from three, which is horrendous, and 63% from the free throw line. Again, horrendous. And yes, we just had Doug on the program, and Doug did discuss how via their stat track, they're working on free throws over and over again, but the product is the same over and over again. So I don't know about you guys. Let me know down in the comment section, right? I am actually very, very curious. If you're a potential suitor or a potential donor or a NIL type of financial figure, what are we investing in? Like if you invest a bunch of money in the players, which is fair, and then we have another last place season, then doesn't it just kind of feel like you threw money away? It's a rough position to be in. But I'm of the mindset now, cut your losses. Because again, it's not about the Bedlam basketball game as much as it is about the way that we lost is the same exact way we lose every single meaningful close game. It's just, it sucks, right? It sucks that we are in a bad spot financially to where we got to pick this. This is what we get. And I know, you got to give a shout out. Okay. The dude made a phenomenal shot as time was expiring. He did not step out of bounds. We played pretty good defense. But again, what about the 4-point foul? What about the missed free throw? What about the turnovers? What about the inability to run offensive sets? I'm sure, or at least I would imagine, there was never a design for Jarius Hicklin to come off the bench and jack up a random fade away to the right three-pointer. That wasn't even close. It wasn't even a mile from being in the basket or near the basket. The frustrations are fair. If you're an Oklahoma State basketball fan or an Oklahoma State fan in general, we finally give Mike Boynton what he's asking for, which is a massive crowd. Come out, make Gallagher-Iba alive again, and see the product. But the problem is every time we sell it out under Mike Boynton, we have lost. I mean, honestly, there may be a couple times that we didn't, but by and large, we lose all of the big games. We lose all of the close games, and we lose them all the same exact way for 7 straight years. It's just like Alan Bowman. How do we look at him coming back for a 7th year in regards to him physically figuring out pocket awareness? It doesn't seem like it's just going to click on. The light bulb, anatomically, physiologically, I guess I should say, is not going to magically kick on for him after 7 years. Maybe, maybe not. But again, I'm not going to hoot and holler about Mike Boynton needs to go. I think he should go. We're already at rock bottom. This is what rock bottom looks like. Doing another year of rock bottom to maybe keep some guys. I mean, it's a wild time. And I just don't understand for the life of me how anybody can look at this and say, you know what? We've got to give Boynton another year. Absolutely have to. For why? He's saying that our NIL for basketball is terrible. Okay, so what is there to invest in to make it significantly better? Javon Small is a beast. Eric Daly had a cool as a cucumber, nice and easy 20, while Javon throws up 21. John Michael Wright hit a couple big-time shots. Jamiron Keller had a nice game. But this is the product. This is the product we roll out over and over and over again. Is he going to get another year? Likely, yes. But is this next year going to help him retain all of this roster? Is him getting another year going to help him build a foundation for more NIL? Again, like, I don't understand the sales pitch. The only sales pitch is, well, we got to pay these guys to keep these guys. And that's what I want. That's what you want. That's what we all want. But if you're a player, like, what are you looking at here? What is the, I don't know, mindset moving forward? Can Mike Boynton overcome himself in year 8? I don't know. But what I do know is, before we talk about some up-and-coming kids maybe coming to Oklahoma State, we got to talk about your bank account maybe being up-and-coming as well. In America, and although football season is no longer upon us, you do know basketball obviously is hot and heavy. Right now, new customers get $150 back in bonus bets with any $5 or more winning bet. That's $150 back in your pocket, in your wallet, if your bet wins. Get them extra bonus bet bucks. Right now, bet on your favorite NBA players or your favorite NBA teams with quick bet, same game parlays, exclusive player props, over, under, who's going to score the next bucket, who's going to win the whole daggone thing. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. Again, that is FanDuel.com. Shoot your shot, but make sure your next shot's your best shot with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Kind of ironic, right? We roll out of a NBA style of conversation, fresh off of the basketball conversation, but now we get to kick it up into a higher gear, and we get to talk about some potential future Cowboys, or at least some guys that we have a radar of and could possibility. All right, the first one is going to be Gus Cordova. This is a pretty much unanimous 4-star, 6'5", 155-pound defensive end, who is the Texas 6A newcomer of the year as a sophomore. Again, he doesn't need a massive introduction because he's already got offers from OU and Oregon, Tennessee, Texas, LSU, Michigan, Arizona, Kansas. The list is far too long to name everybody. Of course, obviously, Oklahoma State's mixed in there as well. Let's be realistic, right? Getting in good, especially with this style of guy, will allow some growth, especially in recruiting with the staff. Oklahoma State, that is a program that is renowned for keeping coaches forever. Like, we have several coaches that have been here for 8 years, 9 years, 12 years, 14 years. That's pretty standard at Oklahoma State. That should be viewed in a lens of positivity. That should be viewed as one of the reasons we could potentially get guys like this. But we got to keep the pressure on. Right now, there's some early prognostications that have him potentially going to Mizzou, right? But why would you do that? Why would you go to Washington? Why would you go to Kentucky? And they were in on him very, very early. Matter of fact, those are about the only schools that were in on Gus as early as we were. So that should play us some favors as well. More often than not, when Mike Gundy sees a perfect offer, he does it, right? And when he sees a list typically of nothing but blue bloods, we typically stay away from that. Yeah, because of the buku dollar bills behind some of those schools. It's not something, if we choose to go after this kid aggressively, it's not just something if he is reciprocating the love that he feels at Oklahoma State, right? Because, again, there's publications that have him going places like Mizzou or Baylor or TCU. But why would you do that? Like, why would you go to Baylor? Baylor doesn't support the program, at least the fans don't. You're going to go to Baylor, and no matter how good Baylor is, they could be the number 3 team in America. Rest assured that stadium will not be filled out. So if you're looking at potential NIL dollars, as we all know, Oklahoma State's NIL football is pretty squared away. And if you're looking at NIL, what are you going to sell yourself? Just like the same conversation with Mike Boynton. If you're looking at potential NIL possibilities, the exposure matters. The support matters. You're not going to get either of those things at Baylor like you would at Oklahoma State. Maybe maybe he should just, pull the plug, commit as soon as possible. Now, I'd imagine that Gus Cordova is waiting to see what Baylor looks like throughout the course of this season. But if he likes winning and he likes the product on the field continuously getting better, then you factor in Bryan Nardo. This is a possibility, right? And it would be a nice little parting gift for our boomer SEC later. Getting Gus Cordova over OU, over Baylor, over Mizzou, that'd be huge for Oklahoma State. And again, it would start to kind of spread things and make Sooner Nation a little bit more salty, which is kind of what we're looking for at this very moment. All right, another kid who I've been able to cover for quite some time now, also in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So Gus is 2025 class. This guy, thankfully, is 2026 class. Realistically, we get another Tatum, or have an opportunity to get another Tatum in linebacker from Grapevine, Tatum Evans. Now, I've actually highlighted Tatum Evans on my scouting 7-on-7 show as well. So this will make him the first player ever to get a spot on both shows. Why? Because he's just that daggone good, right? This 2026 product is somebody we need to get in on right here, right now. He's listed as 6'1", 215 pounds. He's already ranked as a top 10 linebacker in the state of Texas for the 2026 class. He also just got listed as the number 38 player overall in the state of Texas. He's got people on him from Baylor, TCU, A&M, Notre Dame. But Oklahoma State is a player here, right? Not so fast for all those other schools out there. He's already getting a massive amount of love, right? But he definitely wants to see what Stillwater, Oklahoma is all about before making any decisions. His feet are on another level. You know, I love the comps. We're going to shift back a little old school here. The comp I have for Tatum Evans is Alex Elkins, just because of the footwork. The footwork is absolutely nuts. I guarantee you Tatum Evans has better footwork than a decent amount of wide receivers that play 5A, 6A football in the state of Texas. It is ridiculous. And again, you got to get in now while the getting is good, because when you get on somebody this good, this early, it can be very beneficial. It's somewhat reminiscent of like Gunnar Wilson, right? When you pop on the film, I could see some Gunnar Wilson mixed in with some Alex Elkins there. And Gunnar was same way in regards to, Louisiana Tech and Army and Navy and Texas State style offers. Gunnar got under-recruited simply because of the kind of player he was. Whenever you play tight end, strong safety, linebacker, defensive end, free safety, wide receiver, so on and so forth, it's going to kind of present itself as somewhat of a negativity. But the body by glass system is designed for certain players. The Stillwater, Oklahoma, in and of itself, is designed for certain players. Ballers want a ball. And ballers know real when they recognize that Bryan Nardo is real. Joe Bob Clements and Dan Hammerschmidt, they know football. Tatum Evans knows what he's going to get. And he knows that he's going to get here, and he should arrive with some authority. All right, close your eyes and envision saying, Cartman, right, respect my authority. This dude is something else, okay? At 220 pounds, darn near, when you're running a 4.6 40, right down Broad Straight, it's going to come straight for your face hole. That's how Tatum Evans plays the game, and I absolutely love it. I love old school. I love a kid like this. If you want to get in a rushing lane and have it plugged in a hurry with a little bit of violence behind it, this is your dude. If you want to play stretched out from sideline to sideline, this is your dude. If you want yet another guy who can play multiple positions, Dan Hammerschmidt, Bryan Nardo, Joe Bob Clements, this is your guy. I mean, I just got to watch some of his private workout clips, and I'm telling you, this kid is unequivocally on a different level when it comes to lateral quickness. His feet are better than 65% of DBs that he'll play against. If he were to end up with O-State in his top 3 come National Signing Day, I would not be surprised. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? He should be a guy. He should be our guy. Now, I got a sneaking suspicion that we've got another fellow that we talked about last week on the show. He's got an official visit coming up in April. I would be surprised if he didn't get an offer then as well. But Tatum Evans is a big get for somebody. And I know the interest is reciprocated. And he's already trending to be, he's what? Top 10 linebacker in the state of Texas. Number 38 player at any position, anytime, anywhere in the state of Texas. We love recruiting Texas. We love when guys reciprocate that they want to come to Oklahoma State or at least see what Oklahoma State is about. You got to get in while the getting is good. You guys already know. And you know the getting is good because this kid is good. He's certified. Amazing. And I can't wait to see what his experience on campus kind of shakes out for him. All right, y'all. Well, when it comes to finding tickets, you know your stop. The only stop is Gametime tickets. They're not, they're not the same as everybody else. They don't operate the same as everybody else, and you're definitely going to get a better product than you can get anywhere else. It's the easy way to find tickets for all sports, music, and theater events near you. With these last-minute killer deals, all-in prices, obviously the view from your seat, and the best price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of you buying your tickets. Easy to find and easy to buy tickets for all kinds of events in your area. The lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, and job loss protection is second to none. You know, my favorite part is you get to view before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. You get there, no hanky-panky of getting put in a different section than you thought you were buying. With the all-in prices, it shows your total up front, so you know what you're getting, and you know it's a great deal before you ever even check out. Buy tickets in seconds with just 2 simple taps. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Right now, all Gametime users are going to get $20 off your first purchase when you use a promo code Locked On. Apply. Download the Gametime app. Use that code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Gametime app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. All right. So now we get to roll into Saturday. And as we discussed last week, it was a big one. Saturday, we had a lot of stuff going on. We had a lot of events rocking and rolling, and it didn't shake out the greatest for us per se. All right. Obviously, the big ones were basketball as the men's team loses in a heartbreaking fashion, 84-82. But it went to overtime. Maybe it shouldn't even went to overtime, but it did. And then we found a way to shoot ourselves in the foot. Women's basketball fared somehow even worse, is they didn't just get beat. They got beat up and down the court. Call it what you want to call it. That was a tail whooping for J.C. Hoyt and the Cowgirls. Now, thankfully, men's track and field, they almost came up with a Big 12 title. They finished second to Texas Tech. So shout out to Texas Tech. Congratulations, Red Raiders, on your track and field indoor Big 12 title. Congratulations on Oklahoma State men's team getting second. The women's finished in third, right? So pretty admirable performance for them as well. Thankfully, baseball saved it, right? If you stayed up late and you got to experience that 14-inning W over number 2 in the country, Arkansas, that salvaged Saturday a decent amount. But then Sunday comes, and yeah, we get beat up by Iowa in wrestling. And that was shocking. I mean, we knew it was going to be, back and forth, up and down. It was going to be close. But that was unexpected. To get beat the way that we did by Iowa in wrestling. Would it have been, right, for one of those fans that went to both? Basketball, 13,600, 700, whatever many people to witness a heartbreaking loss. And then we had another 13,600, whatever, building the next day for wrestling. And that don't go well either. So this weekend, if you were part of the 20,000 plus that got to experience back-to-back, packed out Gallagher-Iba Arenas, I feel for you. I do. And then we took this amazing win over number 2 Arkansas in baseball, and we turned it into a loss to number 7 Oregon State the very next day. So this weekend was up and down. That's softball. Softball was a highlight. Women's tennis, that was a highlight. Other than that, it was kind of rough. Losing both Bedlams the way that they both went down, it was rough. It hurt a lot. Baseball, big win, and then you turn it around with a pretty decent loss. It's rough. Wrestling's cruising, scoring so much bonus points, we look like we might have a shot to compete for a national title. And then Iowa rolls in and says, hold my beer. Y'all ain't quite ready yet. Sometimes those wake-up calls are beneficial. Sometimes those wake-up calls are an absolute necessity. I'm hoping to the wake-up call as we set for the Big 12 tournament, and then the national championships. It would take a Herculean effort at this point to win a natty. It was likely going to be Penn State no matter what, but we should be second place. Winning a national title this year looks unlikely, but losing a national title to Penn State and Penn State only, it's feasible. It's reasonable. It's okay. Yeah, we just look dead. We look lethargic. OU was running around like they were the home team. OU was running around, Iowa. Iowa was running around like they were the home team. Like they had almost 14,000 people there getting rocking for them. We wrestled timid. We wrestled cautious. We didn't look very inspired. That was it. Like almost every match, even the matches that we thought we maybe could have got bonus points, we didn't do much. Very uninspiring. The most uninspiring performance of the year. Unfortunately, they saved it for the biggest duel of the season. Is what it is. We have plenty of time to bounce back. But guys, this basketball thing, it's rough. And I don't get the confusion. If we keep Mike Boynton for another year to improve NIL, what happens if we don't improve NIL because people don't want to invest in Mike Boynton? They don't want to give Mike Boynton money, and you can't blame them. It's like if you know this dude just ruined a company, you're not going to invest another couple million in him, especially if you've given him 7 years to build the company. It's not logical. I don't know. I'd rather have some grab your lunch pail, go to work, go to war mentality guys that just want to be, that want to hustle. They want to hit free throws. They want to compete for Big 12 titles. They want to go on some March Madness runs. And I'm not, these guys don't want to do that, but clearly we miss free throws and we take crazy ISO shots at the end of virtually every game. And it costs us 99% of the time. Very rarely does our missing free throws and hero ISO ball work out for us. It worked out when we had Kate Cunningham. And then not so much. All right, y'all. For this one right here, we battled through technological. You know I love you. As always, God bless. Go Pokes. Thank you for tuning in to make this your first listen. You could be anywhere, so happy you choose to be here. Make sure you go like it if you like the daggone thing. Dislike it if you don't. Sharing is caring. Obviously, comment, subscribe. My podcasting people, you know the drill. You know the deal. You're the bread and butter. Hit the stars. Leave the review. Drive safe. Travel safe. See you later. Later, taters.